Need more Mike Delivers? Head over to patreon.com or download the Patreon app and type in Mike Delivers. Get a full catalog of bonus podcasts like the one time Mike crashed his wife's 2007 Toyota RAV4, behind-the-scenes videos, and more food reviews. Go to Patreon and check it out now.
My name is Mike Biseglia. I'm 37 years old, and I use the Lawnmower 3.0. Use my promo code, Mike Delivers, all one word, and you can get 20% off plus free shipping on your own Lawnmower 3.0. What is the Lawnmower 3.0? It is an electric trimmer that cleans your ball hair. I recommend it. I use it, and it's helped my life tremendously. As a 37-year-old that's feeling bad about himself because he turned 37 and the age has turned a corner, the best thing I have going for me right now is the Lawnmower 3.0. Use my promo code, Mike Delivers, all one word. You get 20% off. You can even have mine. You can have my used Lawnmower 3.0.
Welcome inside Mike Delivers from his wife's, cat's, his own living room. Here's your host, Mike Biseglia.
That's right, this is Mike Delivers, episode number 92. And I'm your host, Mike Biseglia. And I'm coming to you from my cat's, from my wife's. Yeah, you perked up, Leon. You did. You really did. You did perk up. Kitchen in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Mike Delivers podcast. You can find this bad boy where all major pods are found, including TuneIn, iHeart, Spotify, Stitcher, and, of course, Apple Podcasts. Please go ahead and give a 5-star rating. You know what? Maybe you already gave a 5-star rating, and you're like, Mike, I gave a 5-star rating. Well, you know what? Did your Aunt Mildred? Really? I'm talking to you too, Pete. Did your Aunt Mildred? Tell Aunt Mildred to go on Apple Podcasts and give a 5-star rating. But for real, thank you guys for all of the support. It has been awesome. Seafood Month continues. We tried the sampler from hell from Joe's Crab Shack. We'll talk about that in a second. Don't forget, as well, I want to give a big shout out to the guys at the O'Brien Creative Group. Awesome job helping with this podcast. Besides the awesome logo that Drew O'Brien with the O'Brien Creative Group created, they help with brand identity, social media. So all those cool food review videos with the fancy dancy logo, that as well came from the O'Brien Creative Group. Awesome shit right there. Jess, we've done a bunch of Patreon episodes. I'm going to try to include you in this little commercial spiel in the beginning. You ready for your debut?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Patreon, you and I have extra content every Saturday night. You and I have been recording an episode where we basically talk about our lives. We have fun games, different food taste testing. So it's an extension to what this podcast is. So, you know, maybe you like Mike Delivers, but you're a fan of Jess. You know, maybe you don't like Mike Delivers. Maybe you're in here because you're into Jess. Delivers.
I don't know if anyone's here for that.
I mean, maybe there's video too, so if you want to see the both of us sit here and talk, you get that too on the Patreon.
You can watch me exponentially explode.
That's right. If you actually watch these episodes, you can see through your pregnancy, like your somebody, if they were fancy at editing, could do like your stomach moving out. But in all seriousness, head over to the Mike Delivers Patreon page. It's in the show notes. Just type in Mike Delivers. It's $4 a month. You get an extra podcast. You get a video version of the podcast. And you also get the blind taste tests.
And it came at a good time to start Patreon because we have basically no life from sheltering in place.
Yes.
And probably once we get really sick of that, we have a newborn.
Yes.
So we'll still be sheltering in place, having nothing to do on a Saturday night.
And you get to see Mike Delivers. And what I was thinking about, and you tell me, you can veto this. You have all the veto power.
Okay.
So what's the name of the podcast?
Mike Delivers.
What will you be doing in a couple of weeks?
Oh boy, delivering a baby.
So I think we have a bonus episode on Patreon inside the delivery room called Jess Delivers. And we go inside there. And, like, we get full access into what that experience will be like.
I might
Your thoughts?
have to use my veto power on
Vetoing
that.
it?
I will allow you to... We did our virtual tour yesterday. We'll allow you...
Virtual tour of the hospital.
Of the hospital. Because you cannot This whole thing is very weird. We cannot tour the hotel, the hospital. It looked very nice. It's actually a very fancy hospital.
Only the best for my son.
Yes, or the one that the insurance covers.
That too.
So I will let you do a review for the Starbucks downstairs.
Sick. And also we'll bring some snacks to the
Well,
reviews for.
and we also do have all the snacks my mom already packed.
That'll be funny. People are like us in the
He's
hospital.
very excited about this, by the way.
He
He's
better be.
kicking like crazy.
He's going to be taking over the family business.
Yeah,
Hello,
so-
son. It's now time for... What is this place? That's me when he's
when
15.
When you're nice and old.
Oh my god, I'm going to be 50 sounding like that. It's your Mike Delivers podcast.
We gotta get those
It's
wizard-
episode 806. We're still making no money.
You can do that, but yeah, no.
Okay.
My version
Okay.
of the delivering, nope, not
All right.
going to be involved.
Had to ask. Okay, so Seafood Month continues. We've done the Red Lobster Pizza. If you want to go back and listen to that on episode number 90. And then on episode 88, we also tried the popcorn shrimp from Popeyes. Today, we went with the classic... what is the official name of this? I was going to say something. What is the official name of this thing?
Joe's Crab Shack, and
Joe's Crab Shack, and it's their classic... it's the sampler.
Joe's Classic Sampler.
Yeah, so it is a trio of seafoods. So you could get... It comes on it. You get fried calamari. You get a crab and lobster... or crab and shrimp dip. And then you get these great balls of fire, which are crab fritter type looking things with cream cheese and jalapenos in them. And I gotta be honest, Jess, today was rough, man. If you want to see the food review too, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Mike Delivers Pod, you can see me trying these things.
I will say that I miss Joe's Crab Shack.
What do you mean, miss?
Because there is one across from the gym that I went to, and I used to park in front of it.
Yes.
This one that
I
we
got
got
you.
it from every single day. And I would face the Joe's Crab Shack.
Yes.
And I would always think, I should get something from there. Now I'm like, no, I think we're good.
Well, we did get an appetizer that I do think if we went there, and obviously if you're getting the hints from what we're saying, we didn't like it. And we'll go into more detail as this podcast continues. I think if I went there and I got like the actual crab legs, how bad could they be? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
open up and there's meat.
maybe we should do our yum and yuck on their actual menu, because I didn't take a look at it.
That's a good call. But this thing, I mean, to be blunt, it was disgusting. I mean, I know normally we don't get into the food right away, and we kind of like lollygag as we get there and we share experiences. I just kind of want to get this off my chest. It was fucking bad. Like, it's first of all, it smelled like dog shit. It's no, not dog. It smelled like shit. Like, it smelled like poopy. Okay? So, when you smell it, and it smells that bad, it does not help to when you try it. And I'm talking about the dip. The calamari didn't taste like dog shit. But the dip smelled, Jess. It was gross.
No, well, you're jumping ahead.
I know, but I'm so passionate about how much I dislike this thing that I just had to get that off my
Okay,
chest.
all right.
We'll have a full taste review.
Okay.
I mean, the truth is, like, talking about dips, we'll start with dips. And then we can talk about appetizer trios and our thoughts on that at other places.
Interesting, because I have lots of thoughts on this.
On dip. Do you like dip?
I would say I like... Here's the interesting thing. I like to make a dip homemade from scratch if I'm going to a party. I have two that I usually make. And I will either do like a homemade hummus, a flavored homemade hummus,
Yes.
or I will make this sweet pea crostini dip. It's a Giada De Laurentiis recipe. It's kind of like a pesto, but with peas. I like to make that.
Yes.
It's an easy thing to make. I do not like to eat other people's for fear of how sanitary it is. Now, do we put chips and salsa in this?
What do you mean?
Like in this dip category?
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking more like...
Creamy dip?
Yeah, like...
I'm thinking anything you dip.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, well...
But here's my question.
yeah, it's like the NLAL.
Does one dip has the designated hitter?
Well, now they both have the DH.
That's so
Get with your
confusing.
baseball. But yeah, just like one is more of a heartier dip. For example, the dip we had today is more of a meal dip. But if you were to get like a hummus or a salsa, I would classify that as more of like a snack dip. There's fish in this dip.
Okay, well, so, okay.
And somebody did like it in this house.
If we're like qualifying it, then okay. So
does that make sense though?
Yeah,
Am I making sense when I qualify
would say I am not a huge dip person. I think I don't like sharing like that. I don't really like sharing food in general, to be honest, and you know that. I think I don't like those large quantities of dip. But here's the thing, I love a condiment. So, like, for example, the meal kit we have tonight has a Greek yogurt cucumber sauce with it. It's an Indian. I saw that. It's an Indian chicken situation.
I saw that.
That I love to dip my chicken into it. I love condiments.
Yes, I'm talking about.
I'm going to say that's going to be my distinguisher. Okay. I love ketchup on French fries. You can kind of take it or leave it. But I like to dip things.
Right.
But I don't like what I think you're quantifying as a dip.
Yeah, that's not
a large boat. The only thing
here's what I'll say about a dip.
Okay.
Ketchup, there has to be components made that combine different ingredients.
Ketchup's like 50 different things.
Okay, all right. Heinz 50.
Semantics.
Okay, Miss 57. But it's a ketchup base. Okay, it's a tomato base. I'm talking about the crab dip we had.
You're saying like a buffalo chicken dip, a French onion dip.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to do Super Bowl dips.
Do they all have to be, in your mind, are they all dairy-based?
No.
So a hummus counts as a dip?
Yes.
And a salsa counts as a dip?
Yeah, there's just the NL and AL.
Okay,
there's the creamy dips, and then there's the non-creamy dips.
I'm going to always go non-creamy.
I will always go non-creamy.
Yeah.
Except for this thing today.
Oh, God.
Which, it looked so ugly, too.
It was gross. Yes, no. So I
will say the cat loved it.
Because we just fed him and it looked just like his cat food.
It did look like his cat food. It would be fascinating. Maybe we should try this. I guess I'm not going to buy this dip again. That's not happening. But to put a dip on one plate and his food on the other and see which plate he goes to.
Yes. There's also we could do a kind of a controlled test. There's this Fancy Feast that has cheese in it. So... Oh. We could get one of those next to this because there was a lot of cheese happening here. But here's my question for you: are they dead?
Because of the pandemic?
The coronavirus? Are we? So I grew up in a family that was very anti-sharing food, not from a friendly perspective, but from a very, very germophobic perspective. I was never allowed to drink out of somebody's drink or eat off their plate.
Yeah.
And I'd say they've gotten more lax over the years, but we're right back to 1990 all of a sudden. And so it's not a sanitary thing. It's think about bar nuts or those pretzels at the bar you like.
Well, I think...
those were gross. They've always been gross.
Well, I think this pandemic has made people rewrite and rethink the way they view anything.
Yes. No, and I just think there is a small sect of people who have always thought this. Now everybody's kind of ooh, what did that touch?
But I mean, yeah, no, I know.
To be honest with you, I thought about this last night because we got tacos and chips and salsa on the side. And I thought about, chips and salsa in a restaurant. Is that still going to be a thing?
Yeah, that'll still be a thing because it's so good.
I know. Well, I'm just
saying. I'm being tongue-in-cheek. Will it still be a thing? I don't think a lot... I don't know if a lot of things will still be a thing. I think only time will answer that. For the short term, no. In the immediate future, absolutely not.
Will each person get, a little bowl of chips and salsa?
That could be a possibility. Or you could probably... The answer will be you get one bowl of chips.
And you parse it out.
But your salsas, you just pour on your plate.
a little ketchup thing or something.
Or you pour it on your little side plate. And then you kind of just dip from there. But you don't go back into the central dipper. This is I'll do this and it's a plug. But I do a bunch of different podcasts. The other podcast I do is Outside the Box with Mike and Leon, which you can find at theprosclub.com, or just type in Outside the Box with Mike and Leon if you want to hear our podcast. Leon brought up a really interesting question today, and I really had to think about it, and I don't know the answer. But moving forward on films, TV shows, are people going to be walking around in masks, or are these shows going to be like this never happened and life's going forward? How will they treat shows? I don't know. That's a really good question.
It's an interesting thought because not to get super dark, it's kind of like 9/11. Because that was a very finite period of time.
Yes.
And, like, if you watch the episodes of Friends from before that, you see it in the sky, the two Twin Towers in the skyline. And I don't think they actually ever address it ever on
But this is so very different.
I know, but I'm just saying that that's like the only thing in this entire world I can think of that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
That it did kind of like integrate. And there've been shows that after the fact have like mentioned it. That's
Right.
the only thing I can think of that like actively like, and they changed that skyline a little bit.
Yes, but okay, two parts to that, and I think it's a great example, and I understand where you're going. But the difference here is, one, that was just in the New York area. It did have an impact on everybody around us and in the world, really. It changed a lot of things. But, like, for example, with that, I would say, like, the big difference is maybe the way they shoot in airports.
Yeah.
You know, when they do an airport
Yes.
scene and how you get through
is
security
limited.
is now very different than how it was beforehand, where you would see, like, Aunt Mary going up to the terminal, like, trying to say goodbye. Like, you don't do that now. But this is, like, it's like that everywhere.
Well, exactly. And I'm just saying I can't think of another example that happened real life that affected us like that. Because
Yeah.
you're totally right. And speaking of Friends, that one scene at the end well, not at the end, it was when Ross and Rachel actually got together for the first time. He ran like all the way to the gate.
So that was pre-20,
Yeah.
9/11?
Yeah. I mean, it had to.
I don't remember the sequence for the show, but...
Well, it came out in like 1994,
It was
95.
the
so
90s
yeah,
thing.
It was the first time they got together.
well, to answer the question, I know this is off topic from Crab Dip that sucked dick.
we knew we'd get off topic eventually, even
But
if we
what
started on topic.
do you think that... How do you think film industry will tackle this topic?
I think they will bypass it.
Bypass it.
I do, because I think that they think of their industry as an escape.
So, like, let's say it's a family sitcom, and there's so many out there. Let's just say a family sitcom that's a Netflix original, where it's about divorced parents that split up. This is the Brady Bunch, whatever. Like, and they live in a house, and they live in San Antonio, make up a city. It's just like nothing.
I think, yeah. I do, because I think this is also such a snapshot in time right now, and by the time, even if they started filming something now, it would come out in a year from now.
Well, there's the one show, and I talked about this too on Outside the Box, that will embrace it. And it's been picked up for another season.
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay,
It's going to be about it. And I'm not even just saying, like, Corona, like, Larry David on a Zoom call, you know, and they forget he forgets to close it out, and then there's a scene of him bashing somebody, and I was like, Larry, you said you hated my guts, you had your Zoom call open. Like, you know that's coming.
Yeah, okay.
Like, hand to God.
And he goes to the bathroom with it on.
Yeah, he goes to the bathroom with it on. I was like, Larry, I saw your penis. He's like, I was in the pool! Like, that is
Okay.
totally going to be part
Okay.
of that show.
I can see that.
Like,
But-
that part of our... Like, Zoom calls are now part of our culture and life.
But I do think that people want comfort stuff right now,
That's
and it's
interesting.
not something to dwell on. I mean, I think the whole fact of the matter is they're not going to be in production in high levels very soon.
Well, that, too. There's no...
There are some
How are they going to do these
The
things?
problem is they're in such close contact. Like, the person holding the lights and the boom mic, and they're all in, like, like touching. A lot of people in writers' rooms are doing, because I listen to a lot of, like, comedian podcasts, they're all doing
Yeah.
it by Zoom. Because what do you do in a writer's room? You sit elbow to elbow with people 12 hours a day.
I was looking at your elbows. when
Oh,
you
okay,
said that.
yeah. I was like, what are you checking out here?
Your elbows.
Oh, okay.
You got hot elbows. Oh, you really know how to get those elbows going.
Pregnancy elbows get really
Nothing
big.
gets me turned on like an elbow. Left elbow.
Well, and mine go backwards.
Yeah,
so
actually, your elbows don't turn me on. Now that I think about it. Ugh.
I'm double jointed.
You got creepy
so-
fucking elbows,
yeah.
girl.
Anyway, I don't think they will. I mean, I could see if it's an intentional part of the storyline. That's what I will say.
Right.
If it is it is, you know, the guy comes in, he's on his last, you know, breath, and the nurse walks in and saves him from the coronavirus, and they fall in love. Like that, I can see kind of happening.
It's not like Die Hard 5. Bruce Willis wearing a mask.
Yeah, no, not
Going,
like that.
Sorry, Bruce, you can't go in to save the building. You're not wearing your mask. Fucking shit. This person's on top of the building. Fucking masks. Like, not like that.
Well, okay, well then that gives me the room to give my PSA on masks. So
Are we going... Is this... okay.
it's 2 seconds.
You're my wife, so I can't stop you.
No, you can't. I am mandated by the state to wear a mask in labor. you know, that kind of breathing.
Yes.
So if I'm mandated to wear a mask while I extract a child from my body, you can wear a mask when you go to the grocery store.
She said it.
The end. You get enough oxygen. If you don't, get in better shape. The end.
Get a better what?
Get in better shape.
Oh, tough. I like you taking the platform of Mike Delivers and calling it, it's now time for Jess and her mask PSA. Brought you in part by our cat Leon.
It's not gonna hurt anything. It can only help. So anyway, moving along. But I don't think that it will be involved. I think people want to. I mean, I know for me personally, I have really wanted to listen to, read, and like consume media that has been more on the comforting side.
Gotcha.
And I wouldn't say I was super like that before. Like my mom has been like that her entire life. She just wants happy stuff and like just does what she likes to.
Yep.
Doesn't like any show, book, anything where somebody ever dies, which makes it really hard to recommend something to her.
Yes.
But I definitely, and I've been reading a ton being pregnant. If it's like a tough read, I don't want to do it right now. Like I want positivity, so I kind of think people aren't in that headspace of like,
okay,
let's keep hammering it home that we're in this pandemic.
Fair enough.
Wait, what do you think?
Do you
think they're going to address it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it'll only be intentional.
I don't know the answer. I think it's. I really don't know. Like I keep thinking about it, and I guess there's so many different kinds of shows out there, from your CSIs to your hunky-dory dumb Netflix shows. I think it's going to just be kind of a combination of everything.
I feel like those type of procedurals, like a CSI, Law and Order, those are going to be the ones that really have to think about it, because a lot of them are based in cities in New York and
yeah,
and like, which I have to say, honestly, I've never seen an episode of any procedural ever.
I guess too, it depends on how long this shit goes. I mean, if we're doing this years from now, how can you avoid it?
Well, hopefully Pfizer has an answer. And hopefully they buy a lot of my machines during that period of time.
Yes, of course. Hopefully there's an antibody and there's a medicines. Vaccine is the word. The V word I can come up with. But, I mean, if we're years from now and, sorry, you distracted me. Years from now, if something's going on, you can't do that, bro.
That's I didn't do anything.
Okay, whatever. I won't. You're a dick. What was I saying? Years from now, hopefully there's a vaccine, but if there isn't, I think shows will have it. All right, back to dip. You're a dip shit.
All right, what's your favorite dip of all time?
Salsa.
Okay, how about in the American League? Because obviously we know that's the inferior one.
There is no dip I like. You'd like dip.
There's no creamy dip. Buffalo chicken.
I don't like cream cheese. I think it makes me like, that feeling when you're turned on and you want to have sex. Cream cheese.
Not lately.
Dip, cream cheese dips is like the thought of not wanting to bang. It's like the exact opposite. Like, ooh, I'm ready to have sex. Cream cheese is like, ooh, my dick went inside out. I fucking despise it. Sorry to get really effing graphic.
Here's the.
I don't like it at all. Your thoughts? Is it like your dick getting inside out?
I have no idea. What I wanted to say though is, I wanted to talk about cream cheese.
Okay.
Could not love it more on a bagel. Flavored, plain, whatever, with lox. Love cream cheese on a bagel. Hate it in every other form that's not on a bagel.
Interesting.
I don't want it in a dip. Fuck it in a sushi. I mean, that is a nightmare.
Sushi and cream cheese. What are we doing here, Pete?
I had a question for you, because you're the guy who loves all things Chinese food. Mm-hmm. Crab rangoon. Have you ever had it?
Don't like it.
Have you had it? I've never had it.
I don't like cream cheese, so I never wanted it. But
it seems like a weird choice, because...
Is that really like an authentic Chinese dish, or is it just some Americanized bullshit
I have no idea. I have no idea. But what I can tell you only my life experiences. And as I mentioned on the Patreon last night, I was the only American-born person in the lab I worked in for 6 years, and everybody else was from Taiwan. It was like a 7-8 person lab.
Yeah.
They thought cream cheese was a delicacy. Oh. And because, did you remember Bodo's in Charlottesville? They loved the scallion cream cheese there. So this bagel
explain to
place.
Everybody what Bodo's is.
Okay, so it's this overhyped bagel place in Charlottesville. And imagine like a New York City bagel, but you put it in like a dehydrator and made it really small and dense. It's
Welcome to Bodo's, where the bagels are really small.
They're
It's like you took
small.
steroids and your testes shrunk.
they're so dense.
Yeah.
They're like bricks. But people in Charlottesville think they are the greatest bagels ever. It is a weird thing.
Well, it was great when I had Ty Jerome on the podcast.
And he thought it was...
Episode 67, memorized. Ty Jerome, University of Virginia, won a national championship there. He came on the podcast and said Bodo's was overrated.
Honestly,
He's a New Yorker, too, by the way.
their bagels were not impressive, even a little bit.
They were fine.
Their cream cheese was great. They did make their own cream cheese there, and they would make really unique flavors. But I didn't realize, like, that to at least my lab, which is just my Taiwanese colleagues, they thought this was, like, oh my god. Like, it was the biggest excitement for them.
I've always said this, and this is not about cream cheese, this is about the bagel. And I'm on the record of talking about pizza in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and then other places. And I've said, I think that there's good pizza that's equal to New York pizza. There's just more options in this area to find decent slice. I'm just being honest. The bagels are better here. They are. Like, they're not the same.
So the best bagel I've had not in New York was in Syracuse.
Yes.
Does that count?
That's
They say they're Brooklyn-style bagels.
But I'm just saying, like, you go to other places in the country, the bagels aren't good.
No.
As good.
No, they're
so
not good.
It's just, they're just, like, I don't want to be that guy,
I know,
person,
but I feel
but
like...
they're not the same.
This is the fourth state I've lived in. I mean, it's true. They
Like,
are
those
better.
bagels we had in Brooklyn after the Nets game, I mean, those bagels could run for president in 2020 and win.
Yes. And yeah, that was... And I think that was the moment I knew I was pregnant, actually.
But
when we had those bagels.
You didn't think it then.
No, I just was so bizarrely hungry.
Looking back on it.
bizarrely hungry that...
Think about this for a second. You ready to freak you out?
Oh, no.
You're going to be so grossed
That
out when I say
had
this.
a $52 vodka soda the night before.
No, this is way worse. You were so hungry that you ate a bagel on the subway.
No, I did. That's disgusting.
The New York subway, which is repulsive.
Which I wouldn't even get on right now.
Which now you can't even, like, it's like, hi, welcome to the subway where coronavirus lives. You had a bagel on that subway.
Oh, I ate on the subway. That's horrible.
I didn't. I was like, I don't know about this shit.
I was
I ain't
so
that fucking
hungry.
hungry. You ate a bagel on that subway, which is basically like
The F train.
it's
It was
like
the F train from Brooklyn.
It's like the toilet walked by and said, "No thanks, I'm good."
Oh,
This is right before COVID, Jess.
no, it was like 3 months before, but
Still,
yeah,
I guess you're right. 'Cause this was
Yeah, it was
end of
December,
December. It was
yeah.
like a week before Christmasy time.
yeah.
But think about that for a second. You will never do that again.
I've never eaten on the subway before.
But you did. You were so hungry. You were like, "Well, this is good."
I've had coffee on the subway before.
So I've had a lot of coffee on a subway.
But yeah, no, I've never eaten. I'm telling you, I got hungry like a hunger I've never felt before.
I know, but I know.
Oh, I
Our
thought
beautiful son.
I thought you were going to shame me for my $52 vodka soda the night before.
Well, no, that's not shame on you. It wasn't $52.
It was
for
two
you.
for two. It was for two.
That was 4 of them.
Was it two
It was
doubles?
2 doubles. It was like 4 drinks.
Yeah.
It's a fucking net game, which is rip off Jones inside the Barclays Center.
Oh, that is so bad.
It
That
is so bad. So if you're ever
expensive.
going to a Nets game, drink
or
outside.
put it in your pocket.
well,
or
I guess now,
something.
I mean, if you're ever
Don't
going
go to a Nets
if you're going
game
to a
right
Nets
now.
game in 2058,
Hopefully they
but-
lowered or kept their alcohol prices the same.
still will not have won a title.
Because that was painful. It might have been $56. It was horrible.
Whatever. The point is, it sucked.
Yes, but
But you can't, like, the beers there, if you get a 20-ounce Miller Lite, it's like $12.50.
that's so bad.
I mean, it's
The food's a better deal.
The food's good, and it's good, arena food. But that area is so chock full with great restaurants. Adam Richmond, who was also on the podcast,
Lives right by there,
Lives right by it,
apparently.
and he gave some great suggestions if you want to listen back of all these, like, so many. That area is such a mecca. Like, if I had to pick one area to live, just based on I know I could get any kind of meal I wanted that was high quality, I think that Park Slope, Fifth Avenue area is the perfect slice for food. You get bagels, pizzas, Chinese, barbecue, ethnic food.
We went to numerous Vietnamese restaurants on the same night. Remember that?
I mean, it's crazy good.
We did like Vietnamese appetizers and cocktails at like a bunch of different
Oh
restaurants.
my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah. No, the food was so good there.
Do you miss stuff like that?
Yes. The things I miss just going out. I miss eating in the city in general because with work and stuff, I don't have lunch meetings anymore. I miss just having like random stuff. Not that stuff around here isn't great, but we just haven't left in forever. And I never get fun lunches anymore on the company's dime.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been making, full disclosure, you know what I've been making for lunch pretty much every day. For breakfast, I have an Indian meal. This brand Saffron.
Our house smells so weird by like 10:30.
Which has great like microwave Indian.
Saffron Road.
Saffron, and I make that for breakfast. At least I'm eating breakfast. Give me
Yeah.
that. Then for lunch,
Yay.
I've been having the clam strip. This is a weird.
Oh.
We're gonna get to cream cheese again. I promise. I don't like cream. You're listening to this podcast and going, why am I listening to this? This idiot doesn't like cream cheese, and this is what he eats. Fuck this guy. I'm going back to Dak Shepard.
Hey, those Saffron Road frozen meals, not cheap.
No, that's the way I roll. And then clam strips and popcorn shrimp for lunch. And then a bowl of cereal as a snack. And then whatever dinner we're having that night.
Well, the popcorn shrimp and the clam strips are from Whole Foods. So they are of the highest quality because Mike can't... He needs his special high quality foods. So
yes, I've had some weird meals. But you also have to remember here, Jess. We're in this weird quarantine. Did I call you Jeff?
I don't know. I didn't think so, but
okay. I
maybe.
thought hey, Jeff. I guess if... yeah. Let's start over. You also have to remember here, Jess, that this weird quarantine time, we're getting into a rhythm and a routine of lunches. I guess people like turkey and ham and all that kind of shit. But, we're eating at home all the time, so at least I'm getting like a nice little rhythm of what I like.
Yeah, the quarantine has been good for your while.
And we've been doing a lot of Uber Eats grocery store. What's that called?
Uber Eats grocery store.
You know what I mean? Like where you order it.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of the Whole Foods delivery.
So I think
from
that standpoint, there's some items there I know I like. So it's different than going in the store and looking.
Yes.
Oh, that looks good. Or that looks fresh. I have 4 or 5 things now I know I like when I go in there that I feel comfortable with, and I know that it's going to be there.
No.
So that's kind of why I've fallen in that rhythm. I understand. Like most people aren't eating that all the time, but I mean they're selling it, so somebody's got to like it.
No, it is different. It is different because you kind of have to go into the mindset, and we're not running to the store ever. It's like, okay, we typically order on Wednesday to Wednesday, and that's kind of what you're going to eat for that week because I'm not going to run to the grocery store now if I can avoid it.
Right, exactly.
I had gone grocery shopping a couple of times, but honestly, the Whole Foods delivery system, it's about it might even be cheaper than the regular grocery store because you get like the Prime discount and everything, and it just, honestly, the 2 hours that it saves me, that makes up for itself. So
that's all you need there, man.
Yeah, but you do have to go in with a game plan. You can't be like, I'm going to peruse this row of items.
Well, I went into the grocery store 2 weeks ago to pick up some sodas and something else. I can't remember now. But I saw the arrows were new. Yeah, and I followed the arrow rules.
I got yelled at the first time I went to a grocery store with that because I just didn't know they were on the floor.
Yeah, well, they're there. You just got to follow them. I personally I've seen people on social media do this and they complain about it. And they're like, this person got so mad at me. I went down the wrong way and I did this. It's like, just follow the fucking rule. And maybe I'm just such like a good, I'm a rule follower. But at this point, it's like, why fuck?
Well, the one time I did it, it was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
I just didn't know.
I was literally like, oh, okay. I was going. It was like the soda or water aisle. And I just didn't need to. It was like I didn't need to go to the aisle before, so I just skipped it. And then I was like, oh, there's people coming at me.
My thought is like, you know what? It's extra steps. It's more walking. So you can get down to where you need to go. So just be nice. But back to cream cheese. I think it's disgusting.
Back to Joe's Crab Shack. Have you been there before?
This, 2-part answer. I've never been there on an Uber Eats adventure or pickup. and I've never been there as a consumer. But I will say, after going there, first of all, inside is humongous, but outside is big too. They have a natural big spot for outside eating.
Were people dining outside?
A lot. Very busy.
Interesting. Okay.
Everywhere, just so the area I picked up the food, there's a TGI Fridays, an Anthony's Cold Fire Pizza,
An LA Fitness,
which people weren't eating at. A Greek place called It's Greek to Me, which is like one of those local New Jersey Greek restaurants, but there's like 3 to 5 of them.
It's kind of like an upscale, strippy mall, but nicer than that.
Yeah.
There's that barbecue place.
Oh, there's the Mighty Quinn's Barbecue. There's a good burger place called Zin Burger. So there's a lot of chain TGI Fridays. I may have just mentioned that, but there's a lot of chain restaurants. But this, of all the restaurants, they have outdoor seating.
Interesting, because it's on the end of like a strip.
It's on the end of the strip. So
the Qdoba we went to is next door to that.
The Moe's.
Moe's, whatever. They're the same in my head. Okay.
The Moe's is outside of there, but there is outside seating, so they're conducive for that. So it was packed. I mean, I'm saying outside seating. It's not like it's 100 seats. It's like 15 tables. But for what the times are, times are now. Like, for example, the TGI Fridays I drove past earlier to get there, they had pop-up tents and they were serving TGI Fridays.
Oh, God.
I was like, I don't know.
I could literally never want TGI Fridays that bad.
Yeah.
Ever. That
was kind of weird to see at TGI Fridays and to see all those pop-up tents and that people were eating there. It was kind of bizarre. Like, at least with the Joe's, it was the own tables, so it made sense. And it had overhang. It was like part of the restaurant. But to see a TGI Fridays with that, it was kind of weird. And I will say this, just like, because I know we'll say that we wouldn't do that, but you might not know. Like, okay, we have a kid, and we're thinking, all right, we need a spot to eat with the kid that's easy. Let's just go to the TGI Fridays outside. Like, I get it. And it just, I don't know. But it made me happy to see at least they were adapting and figured out a way to get business and that people were there.
Yeah.
Like, it might not be your thing. It might not be my thing. But at least they were doing business.
No, I'm just happy that people are eating outdoors instead of indoors more than anything as well. Because we've seen with states where that's opened up indoor seating that's been really challenging.
Yes.
So, yeah, in New Jersey I think they just reopened indoor or they just opened indoor seating very, very lightly for the first time on Friday. So, it's mostly outdoor at this point, and the weather's great. This is like the best time for that. So I'm glad that they're doing that.
It'll be scary when the weather gets shit again. What happens?
I know.
Because you can't, and I feel bad for businesses too, but like when it's snowing out, you're not going to be ice cold like people bundled up and like pass the sampler. And
you could do heaters. You could
do
tent
heaters,
it.
but people aren't going to go to it if it's cold. Not as many people.
The
weather today was perfect.
If you made it nice, there's like some nice like rooftop bars and stuff in Manhattan where like they have the heaters, they have it covered. Where you have to invest though, which sucks because that's not what anybody wants to do right now.
But to answer your question, I have zero experience personally with that place. From Uber Eats, from eating there, from going there. This was the first time in my life. What's the other crab place where it's Dick's?
Dick's? Oh, the one, oh my gosh. That place is in Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
I got my crabs at Dick's.
Yes, I got my crabs. Which is, for the audience that doesn't know, crabs is a sexually transmitted disease. Okay.
Yes.
Michael, you're mansplaining. Stop it. I don't even know what crabs are.
They're like pubic lice.
Interesting. Can you eat them, or they're not edible?
No, I mean, they're really small. You'd have to eat a lot.
What do those go for?
I don't think. What's the market price? $39.99.
Today's special, we have the pubic lice crab. Highly recommended in a white wine and a butter sauce. You know what? I think I'm going to have... honestly, though, I'd rather have that than the crab dip tonight.
Well, I'm actually surprised you haven't been there. Because the only time I went to a Joe's Crab Shack before this, before I parked in front of it every day for like 4 years, was in... Homestead area of Pittsburgh down the waterfront.
I don't think it was there when I went.
So I went for my college boyfriend's 21st birthday. And I don't know why that's where we went. And now I grew up in Pittsburgh, and you came to Pittsburgh like a lot. But
As a kid.
This is
In my teenage years, yeah.
This is more the area you grew up in than when I grew up in.
Right.
This was like a big deal if I was going down to that area, because it was like...
It's far away.
It was like northeastern of Pittsburgh, and I lived in the south. And that was just... You didn't cross the rivers to go anywhere.
Right.
So... But when I was in college, that was the place to go out, because that's where the movie theaters were. Like, you know, when in college, like, just doing the simplest thing was so exciting, because nobody had a car, and there was no way to get anywhere. So that was the only place I've ever been.
Okay.
And I do remember, we were talking about like Dick's Last Resort that does like the got my crabs at Dick's stuff.
Right.
They're really big on like jokes, and they make you do dumb stuff around the restaurant and whatever.
Okay. I think I've heard that.
That happened at the Joe's Crab Shack as well. They made my like college boyfriend wear a stupid costume, and he was painfully shy, and like run around the restaurant. And it was so stupid. It was like some like Superman outfit or Spider-Man or something. I don't remember anything about the food, which is why I'm interested to look at the menu. And I don't even know why we went there, but I thought you would have gone there. Because that's not where like the Bravos is, and like the movie theater and everything.
Nah, like when I went there, though, you have to remember, and I'll give a little backstory, and maybe if you've heard this podcast, you know this. My mom's from Pittsburgh. She's from Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh area. My dad's from Anaheim, California. He moved to Pittsburgh when he was about 16 years old, because my grandma's originally from there, and she moved out to California. She split with my grandpa. She moved the kids back to Pittsburgh. And then he got integrated into the Pittsburgh scene, which, saying out loud, must have been jarring for him.
Yeah, that
to go
is
from
like
California to Pittsburgh. I still need more information on this. My dad is a 16-year-old in Pittsburgh. He meets my mom. They fall in love. And then, like, all these years later, they're still doing this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been 40 years.
Wow, that's crazy. Like me, I didn't kiss a girl till I was 19. I can't even, like, imagine 16 years old trying to do that. I feel like my penis would melt off. Like, oh, too much stimulation.
Oh, God. People want to hear in a food
So anyway,
podcast.
the crab was great. No, but what are we talking about, Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I was talking about the Joe's Crab Shack in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so, like, what happened was we would go to Pittsburgh all the time, and then, like, today, like, I've got so many things I want to talk about right now.
None of which are crab.
None of which are crab. Although, there's one, it's borderline. Okay, so when we would go to Pittsburgh all the time. Anyway, my grandma passed away, so my mom's mom in Pittsburgh passed away, and I had this idea, like, I want to go to Pittsburgh every summer to see my grandpa with my cousins, and we would do Pittsburghy things. You know, go to a Pirates game, go to Kennywood, which is the big amusement park,
which is opened on Friday and should not have, because not while cases are ramping up. But anyway,
go to his favorite restaurants. So my grandpa loves to eat, and I always believe that I got my passion for eating from my grandpa and from my dad, and like I morphed the two together in those styles. And that's what I believe my eating style is like. And sorry, Mom, for totally pushing.
I was saying your mom's a great eater too.
Yes, and for some reason I'm like, go to my grandpa.
Your sister might be adopted.
With the food stuff, yes,
for just the food stuff. Yeah.
Love you, Jules. Jules, my grandpa. So we would go to different restaurants in Pittsburgh, and towards the end of it, like my grandpa kind of lost it a little bit, but we would still go. And one of the places we go to is that waterfront where you had went to Joe's Crab Shack, and they had like some higher end chains kind of places. One of them was like this random diner, which was really cool.
Yes,
I got the meatloaf there. And then there was Bravo, the Italian place.
Yeah, did we talk about that on a Patreon or something?
I don't remember.
We definitely talked about it.
We've talked about it. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if it was here.
Where. But that was there. But I don't think like a 78-year-old, 80-year-old man who was kind of losing it a little bit was like, let's go to the Crab Shack.
No.
It was like that wasn't his thing at 80. That's why we weren't there.
It's at least the one time I went there, it had a little bit of like that just like chaotic, like Bubba Gump shrimp,
Yeah.
like there's lots of lights and colors. There's 20 things on your table, and there's all these
Yeah.
tchotchkes everywhere. And you have like the waiter or waitress that like sits down and like kneels at your table and is like, "Hi, I'm Jamie." You know, the one that like squats down.
And you and I hate that.
Could not hate that more.
That's why you and I were always bar people.
We're bar people, which is
love-
a whole nother thing I can't talk about now because what?
I
are
love-
we not going to be bar people anymore?
We will be.
Because it's 6 feet, though.
Eventually, we'll be back. I mean, I love. There's a couple reasons why I love eating at the bar. The service is always better. You get to jump right down there.
Should we tell them about Friday night?
Friday night. This past Friday?
Yes. You've made us start eating at our bar. In
Oh,
our
yes.
kitchen. We have a bar in our kitchen with stools, which I actually sit at to like work in the morning a lot, like drink
Yeah.
coffee at it. So now we eat dinner on Friday nights at
Shout
the
out
bar.
to Rose Geisler who purchased the stools, which
yes,
have been
and
awesome.
The contractor who put the bar in when we had the house.
But yeah, him too. But yeah, no, Friday night's bar night. I love just the service is good. The food comes out fast. You get to know your bartender, which helps. Like, I think if you go to a place and you've been there enough, you get to know the bartender. He or she's giving you like a little bigger pour.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting more bang for your buck.
Yes.
And it's just,
I mean, we
don't know.
walked in, this was 8 months ago, and it was, what was it? Maker's Mark Manhattan neat. No,
Straight up.
Maker's Mark Manhattan straight up, and vodka martini with a twist.
Yes.
That was our
Even in
order.
Charlottesville, we had that vibe.
Yeah.
I always love that about you, that you like to go to bars. I appreciate that.
Love a bar.
It's always the best. But with all that said, it's time to talk about
We haven't even
the
talked
food.
about the food, really.
Okay, so part one, you put in the order. I picked it up. I was doing Uber Eats myself today, doing some adventures on the road, which you heard about in episode 91. So you put in the order, and you said, "Mike, I got to tell you about the order." I said, "Let me know on the podcast."
Okay.
Hold it in.
So
What happened?
I called 3 times, and it was busy. I was like, I haven't had a busy phone call in like a really long time, you know, like that busy tone. And so I actually was kind of worried the phone number wasn't working, just because I feel like that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
And then I got through the 4th time, and I ordered the Joe's Classic Sampler, and the girl asked me, and I wasn't sure if I was like, maybe there's a reception issue. She asked me 3 times if that's all I wanted. She could not believe that was all we wanted to order.
I guess that makes kind of sense.
That's all you want? But we've ordered, one time we ordered the single slider from White Castle.
Yeah, but that was through the Uber Eats app, so we weren't communicating with anybody.
Oh, that's true.
This was an actual order. On
Yeah,
phone.
she was like,
People are like, "What is that?" The
are
order?
you sure that's all you want?
I mean, it kind of made. And after the shit that happened the night before with our taco orders, which went to shit, real quickly, I ordered from a really fun taco place. Didn't know there were multiple ones, so it's like a local spot in New Jersey where there's 2 of them, and. Apparently, I called for the one that was 30 minutes away. They were very cool. They hooked us up. So
They couldn't have not have been cooler.
and the food was great.
Folklore,
Awesome.
artisanal Mexican tacos.
I've been thinking about
it. Was amazing.
I'm going to do that entree again, like this week. I've been thinking about it all day.
Yeah, and I'm in a real taco place in my pregnancy, so
Yes, you are.
32nd week is the taco month.
It really has been.
The taco week.
So anyway, that's interesting to know. I went in there. I went inside, and there were like 4 girls, anywhere between 18 and 24, all just sitting around on their phones.
She sounded very young. Okay,
You know, and then like putting in the order, and the one girl goes to the other girl, "Hey, can you put in their order?" Like, didn't want to. It wasn't bad service, but if like they just didn't give a fuck.
I was just surprised they didn't have like call waiting. I was like, guys, come on.
Maybe they don't want it because of just can't handle multiple orders at a time.
maybe their phone lines were completely loaded. I don't know. I just thought that was really surprising that I had to call 4 times.
But I picked up the sampler, got in my car, and drove home. The sampler was ready when I got there.
Okay.
And what I noticed, first of all, when I looked in the bag, was that the sampler was in 2 parts. One part that had fried calamari, the fireballs, or whatever they're called, and chips. The other part, the dip that had tinfoil curled on top of it. So they don't have a specific takeout device for this appetizer.
Clearly.
They are make your own adventure. I drove home, and then we ate this. We ate this thing. So let's do it, Jess. We've been bullshitting long enough. Let's get to the food. Okay, put my notes ready. Here we go. Takeout presentation. There's 3 categories. It's out of 10. 10 the best, 0 the worst. And I will say this seafood month has been fun because it's really been the gamut of a lot of stuff. Takeout presentation, heat factor, which was bad, and taste. All right, Jess, takeout presentation. I will say this, and if we're gonna I feel like I'm in a doctor's chair. I'm getting real comfortable. Sometimes there's something about getting something that's good and average that's boring. Like, for example, the popcorn shrimp that we had 3 weeks ago, it was hot as fuck. So that was fun.
It was so hot. It made me think that... Okay. Hold on. It made me think that every piece of seafood was going to be on fire.
Yes.
That was a lie.
No, that's a lie. But I guess what I'm saying is, the taste, it was fine, but it wasn't would you say it was memorable?
It wasn't We've had other things that have left my mind.
There's stuff I could say we tried. You probably wouldn't even remember we had it.
Probably not.
I'll remember we had this. I'll give you that. You know what I mean?
I will remember we had the dip for sure.
So the takeout presentation, you had 2 parts. You had your typical plastic to-go container that was, I don't know, what would you call the bottom?
It was like a hexagon. It was black. It was a black bottom with a clear top. Everybody's seen this before. And it opens like a clamshell.
Opens like a clamshell. Inside was chips, the balls, and the fried calamari. And then on the outside was the dip, which was in the same kind of hexagon color bowl, but did not have a lid. So they put tin foil and just scrunched it on top of it. I think if it was delicious, I would have been this place is so cool. They don't even use their own tops. They use tin foil because they're so hip. But because it was actual cat food, literally the cat loved it because it was cat food, I am so mortified by that tin foil. I give it a 4 for takeout presentation.
Okay, yeah, so I think the hexagonal container was very haphazardly put together. There were chips on top of calamari, on top of these balls, everything was rolling around. And when I opened the bag, to be completely honest, what I thought it was I thought it was a dip for everything, not the dip. I thought that was like a cocktail sauce. I thought that was
right away I knew that was the dip.
I did not think it was a dip. I assumed the
maybe
dip,
as a veteran of the takeout game,
okay,
my kind of experience. Yes. Whatever, no big deal.
So I thought that was a condiment. I did not realize that was 1/3. I did not. What did it look like to me? And there's a very I have a very vivid memory of what I feel like that is. Did you guys ever have block parties on your street growing up?
No.
My neighborhood loved a block
party.
I
know it. But let me answer this. As an adult at 37, I know what a block party is.
Okay.
But I never had one personally.
Well, it reminded me of something you would take to a block party.
I like that.
You have a bowl, either a paper bowl or a bowl from your house, and you're bringing it to the block party and you cover it with aluminum foil. That's what it looked like.
I like that. That's a spot on.
It was
spot on.
I thought it was a mess. It was almost like if you stop the car too fast, that's all over the car.
Oh.
And that's a horrible thought.
Ugh.
That black interior with just crab and Parmesan cheese everywhere. Do you know how bad you could never sell that car. Ever. It would smell so bad.
You could get it out.
No, you'd have to. But you'd have to pay $300 to get it out.
We might have to add a 4th category for this episode and call it smell.
The smell was bad. Okay.
You didn't smell it.
Yes, I did. I couldn't.
You didn't know. You didn't smell it.
I couldn't not smell it.
Go back in that garbage and smell it.
No, Mike, I could not smell it.
But you didn't put your nose to it.
No, because I could smell it across the room.
You don't care about this podcast.
Mike, It smelled repulsive.
I know. I put my nose in it.
I didn't need to because I watched you do it.
Okay, so what's your score?
It's a 2.5.
2.5 for takeout. Oh,
Yeah.
Not a good sign.
No.
When that was by far the best of the three.
All
right,
yeah,
heat
I guess
factor.
it wasn't.
Heat factor, and I mean, everything was cold. I mean, the chips were good. So we have to be fair, the chips need to play into it because there's a combined score of 4 things.
The chips were actually very good. Like they
Yes.
were. If we got those at like a
And the chips were for the dip.
yeah, if we got those at like a Mexican restaurant with salsa, I'd be like, these are good chips. Not
Yes.
as good as last night. Those were amazing.
But those were homemade chips.
Yes.
But they were more than decent.
These were like thin triangular
good.
corn chips, and they were very good.
I will have to say, though, the heat factor, and a lot of it's on me, because I went to the liquor store first to get a beer. So I had to wait a couple minutes.
And they did say 10 minutes.
And I was in there in 14.
Okay.
The food was ready. She found it. She handed me the food. We went home. The dip, I guess, the dip was probably the right temperature.
You know, I don't know. Was that supposed to be a hot or a cold dip? what would you categorize?
I would guess dip's cold. There's no hot dips.
Yes, there are.
Not from Joe's Stone Crabs. That's in Miami. Joe's Crab Shack.
Oh, that's for Lobster Boy.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fuck off. You make fun of me as Lobster Boy, then, this was garbage. Sorry.
No.
Come on, don't go be
But
Lobster
in all
Boy.
seriousness,
Fuck you.
what do you think it was supposed to have?
I think it was cold. I think it was the right temperature. Yeah.
Because I feel like it was room temperature. That's why
that temperature was fine. But it was so bad that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think that was the right temperature.
All right.
The calamari was cold. The mini testicle jalapenos were cold. The chips were even cold. I mean, the chips were cold. What are you showing me?
I'm showing you a bunch of recipes for hot crab dip.
People like this stuff.
Yeah, so like these are all in crocs. Like
This wasn't. You think that was supposed to be hot?
I don't know. It was room temperature, but
I
everything
don't
was
know.
like kind of chilly.
I don't know.
I felt that everything was fairly chilly, so I don't know if it was supposed to be or not.
Heat factor 4.5.
Okay, yeah. So
It was better than the takeout presentation.
I focused my heat factor. I guess we're lumping them all together for this one,
Yeah.
or at least for the first two categories.
I gotta be honest. I can't do 3 food reviews.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
tough shit.
I feel like
I can't be like.
I feel like I can.
I can't.
I think I can separate out taste, but not the first two. How about that?
Yes,
Okay, so
but we're gonna give 1 score for taste.
okay.
Just come up with. You gotta just honestly
Because
and we're producing on the fly. This is the dish. What's the taste?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
okay, yeah,
we ordered one. If we got, let me explain this. If we got, there's sometimes we get 2 dishes off a menu,
or like a taco, a burrito, a quesadilla.
Yes, exactly.
I'm with
That's
you.
a different. This is
We are evaluating
sampler.
the Joe's
We are-
classic sampler.
exactly.
Okay,
So
got
it
it.
wouldn't be fair to be like, let's break down the sampler into like, for example, we can't say let's give a score to our government. I don't want to do the legislative branch. We're not doing the
Judicial,
and whatever the third one is these days. You know what I'm saying?
executive.
Okay. You use the E word. You know what I mean. Fair?
Yes, and for scientists, that was pretty good social
And go
studies.
vote. Okay, just go vote.
Okay, so what I really based the heat factor off of was the thing I knew the best, which was the calamari. It
Yeah.
was cold as fuck.
Yeah.
It was
Have
cold.
we had
Calamari on
fried
this?
calamar on this food review?
No, are you a douche from Long Island, though?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because that's the only way they say it.
Have we done fried calamari during this time?
I do not think so.
I don't think so
And
either.
you and I, and my family, and your family are pretty frequent calamari orders.
Yeah, like if
I
it's
would-
if it's on a dish,
My family's getting it, your family's getting it, we're probably getting
we're
it.
probably it's an appetizer that's generally gotten.
And I will say, I remember there was a couple places I really loved the calamari in Charlottesville. We moved to Long Island first, then we moved to New Jersey. It's kind of like the bagel pizza standards are just raised. The calamari is great around here.
Yes.
That is the worst calamari that I remember having.
Yeah.
Probably in since we've lived in this area for 8 years.
Well, getting
or so.
it. I mean, you got to remember too.
No, but the breading sucked. There was no. If we got it piping hot, I think it still would have sucked. So
But it would have been better.
Oh yeah, of course it would have been better.
But I'm just saying, fried foods generally don't take out well.
Yes.
We've gotten fried calamari from Ralph's in New Jersey. Not part of a review. We throw it in the oven just to heat it up.
Yeah, and it's great.
And it's great. But I'm just saying, if you had that cold, it wouldn't. But the breading is it's a different breading.
No, it's shitty breading. It's
but I don't think the calamari was terrible because they had tentacles in there, and I do think that's for real talk here. If you're getting a frozen bag of calamari,
it's usually just the rings.
It's going to be the rings, and I know some people don't like the tentacles. I personally love them, but if they're in there, I would say that's a clue that it's a fresher piece of calamari.
Well,
right?
And here's what I would say.
Can you trick people? Are they tricking me?
Here's what I would say. When we have calamari, we order good calamari, expensive calamari, there's always little tentacles in here. Those tentacles were fucking huge.
They were big.
And I did not like that. That's why I did not try a tentacle because they freaked me out.
They were long.
Were huge. They look like tiny octopuses.
They were, you're right.
And I don't like that.
So you think that's a giveaway that maybe they were from something else?
I don't know. It just looked like tiny octopuses. They freaked me out. I was like,
that's a good point.
Because normally I like a tentacle. And they're more tender because they're super tiny.
And I actually hurled some of the breading off. They didn't look bad. I got you.
Well, but we're on heat factor, and I'm going to give you. Okay,
gotcha.
we also have not talked about these great balls of fire at all.
Yeah.
So they were just a shitty seafood mashed up with cream cheese and jalapeno.
Yeah.
And they were also cold. The dip was, I don't know, everything was an indeterminate flavor of temperature. I'm going to give it a 3. Just,
you were really upset tonight about this Great Balls.
I wasn't feeling particularly hungry, and I really did not want to eat any of this.
Yeah. Okay.
This is probably the least food I've consumed. I took micro bites of all 3 of them.
I'll say this as we get to taste. This was the worst thing we've had in this. Overall.
Oh, in the seafood?
Takeout, heat fact, no, everything we've tried.
Oh, no, I still think that the White Castle slider was the worst thing we've ever had.
No, this was better than that. The White Castle was better than this.
Oh, no, I do not think so. That was like dog food with a slice of non-melted American cheese.
I guess we're getting to... I guess what we're going to is...
Taco Bell rules is
where
we're at.
No, do you like dog food or cat food better? I hear you. I thought that was better. We don't have to debate this. We can do that in another episode. I thought that was better. I thought portions of this were better. I thought that crab dip was the worst thing I've tried. Not on the food review, in my life. It smelled like shit.
It smelled so bad. It smelled like it had turned.
It did smell like poop. And
but it didn't taste like it, which is kind of weird.
It did not taste like it. And you put it in your mouth, and there was nothing at first. And then layers of, I don't want to call it flavor, but... What's the word?
Tang? I don't know.
Just layers of bad flavor came spraying through your mouth. And it just tasted like gunk. It was disgusting. It was really gross. The Great Balls of Fire, I thought were a tad better than the dip. If I had to go ranking, a little bit better. I thought the crab meat actually inside the Great Ball of Fire was a little bit more distinguished, and you could actually taste a little bit of crab. But what all I could taste was the nasty, cheesy cream cheese bullshit. And because, for example, it's fried, if that was piping hot, probably better. But because it was colder than my balls sitting in an ice pack for a week, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Okay, and the calamari?
The calamari was the best of the bunch. And not because it was good, but because it was edible. It was cold. The breading sucked. It was at least, you could tell it was once crispy. It wasn't crispy tonight, but it was at once crispy. and somewhat edible when you use the salsa that we used from our tacos last night, because I was really hungry. But it was just, it wasn't chewy. I'll give it that. The calamari wasn't chewy.
It wasn't overcooked.
No. And then finally the chips. I guess, the chips were good. They were good. The chips, bar none, the chips were the best thing of the
Yeah, there was no argument.
With all that said, and everything with the rankings and taste, I went with a 2.0.
Wow.
The wow isn't good?
No, that's the lowest.
I hated it. Like, I could not eat that.
Okay, I will say I felt that both the dip and the Great Balls of Fire, in general, were just too wet.
What do you mean by that?
Like, okay, a really good dip, I think, should be, like, chunky. If you've ever had, so the only dip I, like, ever really like is, like, a spinach artichoke dip, where it's mostly spinach and artichoke. It's, like, held together by, like, a little bit of, like, cream cheese or sour cream and whatever, and it's, like, you scoop it up. That was, like, almost liquid in the bowl. There was, like, no seafood in it, which is a good way to stretch it out, I guess. Similarly, if you've ever had, like, a little fried ball of anything, like an arancini or anything like that, like a mozzarella ball or something, those are going to be tight. These were, like, super squishy. Everything was just too wet and cream cheesy. I actually liked the flavor of the little balls better than the calamari.
Okay.
So it had jalapeno, and the reason I would say is because you could taste the fish in it. So that was my number one, was the little balls of...
Okay.
If there was less cream cheese and maybe they were, like, firmer balls...
Yeah.
I would be into it. Like, if it was, like, a ball of crab, like a lump crab... Like a crab cake. That would have been great. I love crab cakes. Like, I love crab cakes.
I thought at first that's what we were having, like little mini crab cakes. I got excited.
I think that was, like, the idea of it, but it's cut with, like, random seafood, jalapenos, and cream cheese.
And we talked about last week, I think it was on this podcast. Yeah, it had to have been. About cheese and fish.
Well, okay, so I'm working my way backwards. And then the calamari is... Okay, I don't know. It was the worst I've had in a long time. And part of it, it's like my standards have elevated because in this area, everybody, doesn't matter how, like, shitty the pizza place is, they have, like, pretty good calamari around here. And it's hot, and they serve it with, like, a decent marinara, or whatever their dipping sauce is.
Yes.
And that dip, I was, like, worried about eating it, like, for, like, a food safety thing. I was like, I don't know, I'm pregnant, should I be eating this? Am I gonna get some?
Probably not.
And then watching the cat get so excited about it, we did talk about this on the Patreon last night. We talked about, like, unpopular food combinations and stuff like that, and, like, we talked about it on the podcast last week. Cheese and seafood is like,
it's controversial.
This is where it went wrong. Like, this is exactly what they are not talking about as an exception to the rule.
Yes.
This is not a nice linguine with shrimp and a little Parmesan cheese.
Right.
It was stanky.
It was stanky.
It was tangy. It was gross. It felt concerning to eat it.
That's why the girl on the phone was like, "Are you sure this is what you want?"
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It was really awful. I wish there was one that was, like, really good and then two that were, like, really bad.
Yeah.
It was, like,
it was bad.
Really bad, like, could have been good but isn't good, and then, like, maybe concerning.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. That dip was so gross.
Let me ask you this question. If I said you had to finish that dip for numerical value, okay? You saw the portion. No chips. Spoon. $5.
No.
$10.
Wait,
Hold on, let me just keep going.
am I pregnant or not?
Normal Jess. And by normal, I mean not housing a human. And once I get a number that you feel comfortable with, tell me, okay?
Because I feel a little gaggier pregnant, so...
Just play along.
Okay.
For the love of God. $10.
No, we're starting at, like, 10,000.
I gotta get there.
Oh.
$100.
No.
1,000.
No.
5,000.
No.
10,000.
The whole bowl?
The whole bowl. Spoon.
No.
20,000.
Yeah, I would have done it for 15.
$15,000? Okay. That's a lot of stuff, too. $15,000, you gotta eat that.
Yeah, I would do it for that.
You would do it for $1,000.
No, I would not.
I go, Jess, eat this for $1,000.
I would just do something at work and make $1,000 instead. 15,000 is a little harder, so.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Just wanted to really know. So there's the food review for that. I feel bad. I mean, like, I gotta get over this. Like, part of me feels bad.
No, I actually
vicious.
kind of feel bad too because
It's so bad.
I mean, but that was their showing, and I do have to say it does not make me want to eat there.
I mean, I would say this: the Pizza Hut lobster was exponentially
It
better.
is still Red Lobster pizza.
What did I say? Pizza
You
Hut?
said Pizza Hut.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Oh
What is
my
wrong with you?
The Red Lobster pizza is. I would say if I had to rank everything, it would be the popcorn shrimp, then slightly below it, the Red Lobster
I'd flip-flop
pizza.
them personally.
Okay, but you could have a debate.
Yes.
And we could have a heated debate, we could have a conversation, but respectful. And I could understand your perspective. This thing was in last.
I would say, like, so over the course, I think it's actually interesting to reflect on things after a while because, so we had this, like, lobster pizza. I had, I think, 2 pieces. They're very small pieces, like
Yes.
little teeny tiny wedges. The first day we had it, like, because I was like hungry, I had them, and then I had 1 piece the following day, and it was great.
Yes.
I did not eat any popcorn shrimp after the fact.
I did.
I ate the smallest portion of anything we've probably ever consumed on this round. I mean, I literally was like, just enough to know what I'm working with. And
I mean, yeah.
it was
in full disclosure,
disgusting.
we saved the chips and calamari had to throw the other stuff.
Yeah,
It was just
didn't
unedible.
Even,
I couldn't.
It got the
Normally
cat
I don't
excited.
say that. Normally we'll eat everything, but this was just so bad.
Yeah, we do try to, like, not waste food, but, like, this was gross.
Couldn't do it.
I don't know. I didn't feel good about that dip. There's things you can't eat when you're pregnant, you know, like, because they're worried about you getting some type of, like,
Right.
foodborne illness. So it just tasted like salmonella.
Not good. All right, Seafood Month will continue. I'm glad that one is over. We're going to get to a few other things in a second, but I just want to
thought that
say...
was going to be good. I really did.
You know what? That's a good point. I'm glad you
Like,
brought it up.
that's this was
funny.
my idea,
It was your idea.
and I thought it would be good.
If somebody said you're going to get the Joe's Crab Seafood Sampler or the Red Lobster Pizza, and you say which one's better, I would have said the Joe's would be better.
Yeah, this wasn't...
If I had to guess, I was wrong.
I wasn't...
like, wrong by a
Like,
lot.
sometimes we're like, oh, we'll try something because it'll just be, like, an adventure to try. Like, I think the lobster pizza, we both kind of thought that was like, oh,
Yeah.
this will be interesting to talk about. But then we were like, oh, we really liked that.
Seafood Month has been memorable. I'll say that.
Yeah, like, we're probably gonna do the Burger King chicken sandwich on a...
Fish sandwich
on a Patreon, and, like, that already sounds gross, but I genuinely thought this
Well, it's
was
only
gonna be good.
July 12th. We still got a lot more to go.
That's true.
The way the month hit, you're getting a lot of fish.
Oh, God.
A lot of stinky fish. Don't look at the menu, Jess.
Okay.
Don't cheat. You don't know which item I'm picking.
Okay, well, I didn't look.
Real quickly before we get to some stuff, I'd like to, if you give me a comment, I'll read it on the air. This runs from Dr. Simo Dallas at Dallas Simo, and he tweeted me. This is about Red Lobster. As a child, Red Lobster was my favorite restaurant. Used to get it for my birthday until my 14th-ish birthday when we went there, and I learned. Due to its price, my dad and mom would get Long John Silver's and tell me it's Red Lobster because of the price difference. I ate it at 14. I was like, it's not good, not great. It's good, not great. So, shout out to Simon Dollars,
that's so sad.
who's a great listener to this podcast and one of my faves. You know,
I want to
love
know
him.
if he still eats either of those now.
Like, I'll tell you right now, Long John Silver's is better. That was bad. I think whenever...
But, like, with the price point, it shouldn't be.
It was $14. I think whenever you get cheeses involved in fish at not like a high-end place, it's
Well,
just
you're an
not...
anti-cheesite, so...
Yeah, I am. Okay, Jesse, you wanted to play the game? Yum or
Let's
yuck?
do it.
Let's do it. All right, yum or yuck. We're going with this place.
Okay, we're doing Joe's Crab Shack. I genuinely did not get past the appetizer side of the menu.
And today we are staying on shore. So we're doing non-seafood.
Oh, interesting. Which I go away from shore at every restaurant because I typically order seafood, so
here are your options.
Okay.
The chicken tenders. Hand-breaded white meat served with fries, coleslaw, and hush puppies.
Oh my god, do I fucking love hush puppies. Why did we not get hush puppies?
Pasta Alfredo.
With substitute crab?
Chicken with penne pasta and Alfredo sauce served with garlic bread. You can substitute shrimp or substitute crab.
Oh, with the chicken, okay.
Joe's Top Sirloin. Sirloin steak with mashed and seasonal veggie. Grilled herb chicken. Grilled chicken breast topped with herb butter. Served with mashed potatoes, seasonal vegetables. And I know it's herbed. Land and Sea, which is top sirloin topped with creamy peppercorn sauce. Grilled shrimp skewer served over mashed and seasonal veggies. What are you loving, yummin', and what are you yucking?
Alright.
I think I know the yuck.
Alright. Gun to my head. I'm gonna yum the chicken tenders, because I do love a chicken tender. And
Safe.
I also
Safe.
love a hush puppy. Like, love.
Yeah, you might legit want to order that.
Yeah, that is way too many calories. That's basically what I tried to eat, not pregnant, in an entire day for that meal. Now, pregnant, that's like breakfast. That's a whole nother story. I'm gonna say the pasta Alfredo sounds super gross.
That's gotta be your yuck.
But I think the USDA top sirloin is not a good cut of meat, like, anyway.
Yeah, but at least it's not in the sauce.
But I don't like red meat.
Dude, who gives a fuck?
No,
the Alfredo
do you
sauce
remember,
from here,
wait,
dude?
do you remember when you were saying...
Jess, I don't know.
No, hold on. You know what you're saying? Your dick turns inside out with cream cheese?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel
With your dick?
about red meat with fat on it.
Okay.
I want my red meat fat marbleized in the form of a $65 filet mignon.
Oh my god. Okay, lobster boy.
Okay, yes.
Fucking
So,
asshole.
yeah. So this 8-ounce, if the USDA has to be involved in your menu description, like, we have an issue. I do not need them involved. I am going to go. So for that reason, I'm going to actually go with the Land and the Sea, because it is the USDA top sirloin. Also topped with a creamy peppercorn sauce, and that just makes it worse. That's my yuck. I could honestly choke down to that crab dip or whatever we had before I could eat that 8 ounces of steak.
Well, I'm going with you. Chicken tenders by far the winner.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the grilled herb chicken's like, that's not bad either. But
Yeah, so...
it's like doable, but it'd be kind of gross. The quality of this chicken is all, and steak is all going to be gross, so you might as well get
what you're getting with the chicken tenders. It might be dry, but you're not going to want to put, it in your eyes and kill yourself. So I'll take the chicken tenders for yum. For yuck, I'll take the pasta Alfredo. I hate Alfredo sauces.
You just said you never had it on the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Can we try it at some point?
But I know what this is... Not the Alfredo from Joe's Crabs.
But that's what I
You
said.
want... we'll have to do at some point. It's now time for pasta episode from chain restaurants.
We're going to have to do a pasta month, aren't we?
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I know.
Pastas from chain restaurants.
Yeah. I think we just...
I like it.
Yeah, I did not grow up with Alfredo sauce. That was not something we...
You know what I didn't grow up with that I'm thinking I like is vodka sauces.
I've made a couple of...
Those are good.
No, I didn't grow up with it either. My mom started making it recently, but my mom grew up like Southern Italian, which is not Alfredo sauce. Like,
no, I just think... I don't know. I've never... Let me put it this way. I've never been to a good Italian restaurant and the Alfredo sauce was on the menu.
Well, that's what I said in the last episode. I was like, you've never been to like a fancy place that has Alfredo.
Yeah.
You
so
have,
is
like...
it fake Italian?
Yeah, no, I think it's like American Italian. It's like the orange...
fuck
It's like the
Alfredo.
orange chicken of Italian food.
Ugh. All right, Jess. Best thing you ate this week?
Is it okay if I do the same one I did on the Patreon?
It's fine.
Because it is...
That's fine.
It's still true. Okay. Well, those chips we had last night might have been close second. Local taco place down the street. Literally, I walked to get it. Tacos La Gringa. I had tacos from there on Tuesday because our meal kits did not come in time for dinner. And I am growing a little human and I needed to eat. And they were so good. I just could not stop eating them. And they felt, it was like an itch I didn't know I had. It was scratched.
I liked last night's taco dinner I had, but the winner goes to Sparrows, not Sparrows, in Upper Montclair, the roast beef, mozzarella, garlic bread,
Punch you.
hot pepper sandwich. That thing was fucking amazing.
The garlic bread was, it kind of crushed it.
There it is. The epic episode. That was a memorable episode.
Yeah, is that like our longest episode ever?
One of. Yeah.
Okay.
I also think we're just going longer because, we're really in love. And,
Definitely, that's what I hear.
that's what happens when you just... Yeah, I saw you touch my feet. I saw you shoving off that rack. I know what's going on. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining coming here to the podcast. Thank you. Download, do the whole deal, gimmicks, prosclub.com, O'Brien Creative Group, my cat Leon, all that shit. Thank you. I got nothing to tease for future episodes. I'm slurring words because I think I'm hungry. Right, this is what happens when you do.
You haven't eaten enough.
This is what happens when you do an hour and 20-minute episode and you've had almost 2 beers.
We
fair.
should have done the dessert. The dessert there sounds great.
For Yum or Yuck or for Total?
No, we should have ordered the dessert.
Well, seafood month.
It's key lime pie. We could have ordered seafood dessert. Key lime pie, chocolate shark attack cake, campfire s'mores, or apple crumble.
We'll do.
Why did we not do
desserts
that?
will come at some point.
At some point. I think we should do...
Desserts won't get bad scores. Like, desserts not going to be... You can't fuck up dessert.
No, I think you could. But
it could be dry.
There's levels.
But it's not going to be... Like, you'll be like, oh, this cake is dry. Not like, oh my God, they put cement in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's edible.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
All right, episode is in the books. What number is this, 92?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining it. And for next time, Seafood Month will continue. Bye, Jessica.
See ya.